Assalamu alaikum everyone. I hope you all are fine. In the previous lesson, we learned about tenses, simple future tense. In this lesson, we are going to learn about simple past tense, its structure and its use. You can observe this timeline is representing three periods of time: past, present and future. Today we are going to learn about past. In the past tense, the time expression shows that it is the part of past tense. For example, 3 years ago, yesterday, last week, last summer. These are the time phrases. Simple past tense is used to talk about actions that happened in the past, and the time phrase shows that it has been done in the past. First of all, we'll learn about the form of verb be. These are the example of verb be. In the past tense, we always use second form of the verb. So in the affirmative, we have written here I was, negative, I wasn't, interrogative, was I, you were, you weren't, were you, he, she, it was, he, she, it wasn't, was he, she, it, we were, we weren't, were we, you were, you weren't, were you, they were, they weren't, were they. Now let's talk about the formation of simple past tense. But before starting, we need to learn the difference between regular verbs and irregular verbs. The regular verbs usually end on ed in the second and third form. For example, in the words play, played, install, installed, work, worked, start, started, look, looked, earn, earned, want, wanted. Now look at the irregular verbs. Irregular verbs change their spelling and change their form. They are special forms. For example, as in do, did, be, was, have, had, go, went, say, said, buy, bought, come, came. Let's compare present tense to the past tense. We learned in the previous lesson simple present tense. We use first form of the verb with addition of s or es in affirmative sentences. As he works on Sundays. In the negative we use he doesn't work on Sundays, and interrogative we use does he work on Sundays. But in the past we don't have confusion of do and does. For example, you can see here I worked on Sundays. Worked is the second form of the verb which we use in simple past tense. In the negative form, we use with all subjects did not or didn't. He didn't work on Sundays. Did he work on Sundays? The formation is same for all subjects. Now you can see observe with different subjects as I walked, I didn't walk, did I walk? You walked, you didn't walk, did you walk? He, she, it walked, he didn't walk, did he walk? We walked, we didn't walk, did we walk? You walked, you didn't walk, did you walk? They walked, they didn't walk, did they walk? You can see with all subjects we have used the same second form of the verb. In the negative, in all the subjects we have used didn't, and in interrogative we put did in the start of the sentence. Let's observe in another example of present and in past. In present we say I go to work by bus. I don't go to work by bus. Do you go to work by bus? In past tense we use I went to work by bus. We have used second form of the verb here. I didn't go to work by bus. Now we have added here didn't, this which is already second form of do. So we don't need to put second form of the another verb, that is go. Did you go to the work by bus? This is the example of simple past tense. Now let's see the irregular verbs formation with the other subject, as in I went, I didn't go, did I go? You went, you didn't go, did you go? He, she, it went, he didn't go, did he go? We went, we didn't go, did we go? You went, you didn't go, did you go? They went, they didn't go, did they go? Now let's talk about use of past tense in different sentences. Number 1, actions completed in the past. For example, Columbus sailed to America in 1498. My father died last year. We crossed the channel yesterday. Actions that happened over a period of time in the past. For example, John worked in Barcelona for 2 years. I lived in Ruby for 10 years. And habitual or repeated actions in the past. When I was a child, we always went to the cinema at the weekends. When I lived in Ruby, I never visited my family. Now look at these time expressions. They indicate the past tense or the past time, as yesterday, last as in last week, last month, last year or last decade, ago, 2 weeks ago, 3 days ago, a moment ago, when plus past, when I was a child, when I lived in Tortosa, and when I was 15. These are the expressions of time. I am sure students, you have understood better about the use of simple past tense, its structure, and the use of different form of verbs in this tense. Now let's see here some other rules to revise. To make most verbs past tense, add ed to the ending. For example, call, called, talk, talked. When a verb ends in a silent e, drop the e and add ed to the form of the past tense. For example, bake, baked, hope, hoped. When a verb ends in a consonant and y, change the y to I and add ed. For example, carry, carried, copy, copied. When a verb ends in a single consonant after a single short vowel, double the consonant and add ed. For example, pop, popped, stop, stopped. Now here is another example for you to do the practice. Complete each sentence by writing the correct past tense form of each verb in parentheses. In the parentheses, you can see the form of the verbs are given. We need to write in the blanks and choose the correct form of the verb. Now statement number 1 is, Caroline and her father dashed their turkey sandwiches. So what can be the answer? Think of the second form of the verb toast. So right answer can be, Caroline and her father toasted their turkey sandwiches. Daniela dashed her jacket on her way out of the house. Grab. What can be the second form of grab? Daniela grabbed her jacket on her way out of the house. The butcher dashed the ham quickly. Trim. So what is the second form of trim? The butcher trimmed the ham quickly. Her father dashed her saucer jersey before her big game. Her father washed her saucer jersey before her became. The famous chef dashed the vegetables in under a minute. The famous chef dashed the vegetables in a minute. The famous chef chopped the vegetables in a minute. The dog dashed its bone in the backyard. The dog buried its bone in the backyard. I am sure, students, these exercises will help you to understand about simple past tense. See you in the next lesson. Take care. Have a nice time.